I hope just a quick video about Wednesday. Another win, 1-0, another clean sheet. A funny performance because really convincing for the first 20 minutes, half an hour. Probably, if I'm being honest, the quickest I've seen a Wednesday team come out of the blocks in I don't know when, because we spent so much time the last 3, 4, 5 years not really starting till the second half. You know, it's like first half you may as well just go for a pie, you know what I mean? We'll come out of blocks flying, and a bit like on Saturday when we were saying could we take advantage of it, like, you know, that's what we're saying against Doncaster, but in this game we did. Gregory scores after 15 minutes and you think, here we go, could pace these, could be 2, 3, 4-0. But as we said before the game, there ain't really any easy games in this divisions, and you don't want to go into the cliche of playing Wednesday's a cup final for a small club, but it is a big game. It's the biggest game some of them play in a season, probably ourselves and Sunderland. So there was a lull towards half time. They did start getting a bit of a footing. And I have to mention, sadly, the referee, who, if you're going to give a free kick, give a free kick. If you're going to book somebody, book them, you know. But you know, these were the 45-minute lecture before they even get the card out. It just ruins the game, doesn't it? And you forget that this happens all the time. It happened all the time in Championship, happens all the time at this level. And I think it's more frustrating because we've just had a summer with the European Championships where you've seen referees let games flow. They've let them go, and then they've called the kid back, you know, when things have broke down and said, "Nah, son, there's a yellow, I saw it." You know what I mean? And it, very frustrating. I think that played into Fleetwood's hands. I think it broke our rhythm, and it's a shame because we did look smart, and I did think we could get 2 or 3 goals that first half. Like the look of Lee Gregory, you know, I thought he put him centre back when he come on against Donny, to be fair. Not lightning quick, but he does try and stretch because he makes them lovely little curved runs in between centre half and full back. And Barry Bannon, he were finding him at will, weren't he? And we were getting players round him. That was better than it was against Donny. Getting wide players closer to him. I was a bit surprised Byers started. I like what I saw when he came on the other day. He uses the ball really well, really comfortable, keeps things moving, really liked him. And when I saw he was in the team, and I saw Bannon's in there and Wings in there, I thought, oh, Adeniran. But then I saw he was wide. Not sure that is his best position. They did combine for the goal, and I think that's his willingness, Adeniran, and his running to get in and support. He got close to Gregory, and that's what we were saying about the Doncaster game. Good football, some good stuff going forward, but still that isolation of the centre forward, who was Camberi in that instance. But in this game, Adeniran gets close to him, and that's what you need them wide players to be doing. That's what Green needs to be doing, and Brown needs to be doing, and Johnson needs to be doing. So, although I don't think that's Adeniran's best position, I think what he did do is he showed the others these are the sort of runs that you need to be making, and I'm sure Darren Moore will be pointing that out to him and saying, look, get close to him, especially when Bannon's feeding them little slip balls into him. So that was good. Second half, there was a fade spell, weren't there? It went a bit flat, which happens because you're not gonna keep that up for 90 minutes. And again, I just thought the referee didn't help in terms of helping players get the tempo back up again when they had the dip spell. But they kept going at it. And that's something that we hadn't done in previous years. The last 10-15 minutes of a game for the last 4 or 5 years has been a big problem for us. But we stuck to the task. Dunkley's not the most comfortable with the ball at feet, and I know 1 or 2 people's had sort of question marks and saying, well, this playing out from the back, it's going to cause us some bollocks at some stage, which it is. But that's Darren Moore's way of playing. That's the way he wants us to play. I'm not a big fan of fanning about it back myself. Never have been. I think there is a time to put it in stand. But there's a difference between fanning about with it and playing it out from the back at speed with, you know, a crisp pass and zipping the ball into midfielders' feet. The problem playing out from the back is when people don't have the confidence in the pass that they're going to make. Do you know what I mean? Tom Lee's a great example, great centre-half. I like Tom Lee's. Eddie, chest it, get his bollocks in front of his shot. You know, he'd do anything to stop a goal. But when he got the ball at the feet, he wasn't comfortable, and that showed. And when you're not comfortable, you do knock them passes at 75% of power because you're not wanting him to leather it out of play and look like a tosser. And it brings a fear. And so you start under-hitting your passes and screwing your passes off edge of your foot. Hutchinson, perfectly adapted for this role, perfect role for him. Getting ball out from goalkeeper and bang, he will bang a pass and he will say, look, I'm making that pass, I'm banging it into you're a midfield player, you've got to control it, that's your job, it's to control that pass. So he's not afraid of that. Like I said, Tom Lee's like not wanting to let that ball into somebody's shins. You've got to have the bravery to do that, and I think they have, and I think Darren Moore trusts these players to do that. Like I said, Dunkley not so comfortable. That I was getting little shades of the sort of Tom Lee's tentativeness there. But what I will say about Dunkley is he gets his head on things, he gets a footing, and he is a bit of a physical presence. Now, in the Charlton game, they'd got a centre forward whose name escapes me, but he was causing Hutchinson problems in that first half. He was the big chuff who smashed Patterson in head. He was causing Hutchinson some problems aerially and physically. There were all that once Iofa started picking him up more, especially to aerial ball. And although Hutchinson is a big miss if he does miss this next game, this Saturday coming, I think it's a type of game, Rotherham will get it long. They'll pump it into Wood, and I think Dunkley will enjoy that. I think he'll enjoy heading things all day. So, but anyway, I'm getting carried away. I'm looking too far ahead. I'm going to be looking at the Fleetwood game. So I'll just refocus myself. I just made a few notes. The first half, that blistering start, the first 20 minutes, the best thing for me was the movement. The movement was really good. Last season, Monk, even Darren Moore, Pulis before that, but the fans were saying is we're not using ball well enough, we don't pass ball well enough. You can pass a ball all day if there's no movement, you still won't create anything, and that's what I liked yesterday. The movement was really good. Gregory was, like I said before, making those little curved runs in between the centre half and the fullback. Bannon was really getting forward and driving things on. And Hunt and Palmer, I thought they were superb in first half. They were really pushing on and overlapping. They played the two wing backs, Halliday and Clark, and we were just bombing on. Those two. And it is a problem with Palmer not having left foot, but do you know what? He actually were doing a lot of good underlapping. And there's a place for that in the game. I mean, look at Manchester City. Their fullbacks were constantly underlapping. The Italian lad in the Euros, Spinazzola, talk about overlapping fullback. He would underlapping all through that tournament until he got injured. He was playing 1-2s with centre forwards and getting shots away. If Darren Moore wants to get Liam Palmer doing that, that's fine with me. That's great. Attacking wise, that's some of the best I've seen from Palmer. And like I said, I know he ain't got that left foot, but if he's getting inside and threading ball through, having a shot, no problem with that at all. Hunt's crossing, brilliant. I bet he's put more good crosses in the first 3 games of this season than he did in his last entire full season with Wednesday. And that's because that last season it was all about holding our shape at the back and shuffling about and trying to do the counter. He's encouraged to do that now. And you see the best of him because he's a good crosser of the ball for the fullback. Reminded me, another great crosser, Buxton. I thought Lewis Buxton was a great crosser for a fullback. And in that modern game, they've got to be playing the part in getting that delivery in. And there was probably 3 balls in that game. Could have been 3 goals for the sake of an inch, but at all. Gregory's movement in the box was really good. Gets in front of the defender when the cross is coming. And another day, I mean, he'll be delighted with that goal. Great goal because he followed it in. How many times do you see players, they don't follow a shot in? They don't presume that it's going to get parried out. They think, oh, keeper saved it. And they stand, hands on hips. One of the frustrating things I always find. he followed it in. And that instinct, that'll be worth 10 goals a season for him. Forget about sort of good player and stroking ball in net and having shots. Just that little poacher's instinct of following in other people's shots, that'll get him 10 goals a season. Very good first half. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, referee slowed it down, I thought, with his... There's that old saying, isn't there? Oh, he read Riot Act to him. Well, he read Riot Act chapters 2, 3, 4, you know, and subsequent books in series. Gordon Bennett, frustrating. Could have been 3 or 4-0, to be honest, but it weren't. It were tight, and there's going to be a lot of that in this division. There's going to be a lot of that. A few people called it in comments on preview game at 1-0. I'll take 1-0 to end of the season. I mean, these clean sheets, I get quite excited about them. That's probably a bit sad, but I love the clean sheets. Love them. And I start looking now. I'll keep a clean sheet against them. If we can make it 5, if we can make it 10, then I start having crackpot ideas, you know, like can we get to end of season without conceding a goal? Lunatic stuff, but that's, I do go a bit loony sometimes, you know, when I'm awake at 2 in the morning. Like, really good performance. Look, I thought Canberra was good again. He come off the bench, and that's something that's really going to see us in good stead this season, is having substitutes coming from bench and actually making an impact. Because again, for 2 or 3 years, a substitute comes on and you're just like, oh, go and get bus, miss traffic, do you know what I mean? So, and he's making them early, Denimo. He's making these subs early. Early, effective subs. I like it a lot. I like Byers, good on ball. Weren't sure yesterday particularly suited him because they started to get a bit of a niggle in there, and there were a lot of silly fouls, and he got involved. He don't like it when folks get over the side of him. I don't think that's his game. But when he's facing forward and looking, like him a lot, really good with the ball. In fact, if it weren't for his shirt pulling, his obvious shirt pulling, because I hate to see that, whoever team it is, especially I hate to see it from Wednesday players. If he can get a grip on that with his little daft tugs and eel niggles, you know, I hate to see films for eel niggles because they're completely needless, they're daft. So, if he went for that, he might have been in a shout for my man at the match. Bannon, brilliant again. Just playing that 5 yards further forward, and how many years have we said it? 2, 3, 4 years. Just that bit further forward. Look at the difference it makes to him. Looks a different player. Still playing them long passes when he wants to, but his idol is more effective than little threaded through balls. Brilliant. I can't believe I'm, been too excited about a 1-0 win against Fleetwood Town, but it's 11 against 11 end of the day. You've got to beat them, and I'm always looking at the performance rather than the name of the team, the name of the opposition. Arsenal, Fleetwood, don't matter. It's about your performance against the 11 players they put out on the day. The names don't really mean anything. And I thought it was a good performance. Like I said, there was a sticky patch in the middle, but they kept at it, and they could have probably had another couple of goals actually in the second half at end. So really good. Movement was good. It was simple, and they weren't afraid to mix it. They weren't afraid. I offer Hunt, Bannon, a couple of brilliant ones, but that little clip ball over a full-back's head. Modern football, there's still nothing wrong with that. A little ball over top at full-back and get somebody after it. In fact, I like to see it. It starts getting me a bit like that on edge at seat. Yeah, I still like to see that. And if you've got somebody like Jack Hunt who's going to be, banging crosses in, great. Love it. Love it. Rotherham Saturday, that'll be a different game. I'll talk about it. I did make me send some notes. I've completely ignored them and gone on my ramble. What have I got here? Oh no, I've basically covered it all. It just shows you, doesn't it? I think there's that bit of understanding coming. In the attacking third, yesterday, honestly, that first half an hour yesterday, I think we could have been 3 goals up. And if that does click, like I said, Gregory misses a couple by an inch. He slides his toe in. If he hadn't had his hair cut, he's probably got an header. It's the post. Some good stuff. Some really good stuff. And people talk about, I can't really see an identity yet. But it takes time. But I tell you one bit of identity I can see, which is a refreshing change after the last 3 or 4 years. The one thing I can see as an identity is, whether it's short passes or long passes or whatever it is, they're going out to win games. That's enough identity for me to be going on with. Going out and trying to win games and sticking their arses, their elbows, their bollocks and everything in front of shots at other end to stop. Speaking of which, Peacock-FARRELL. Didn't have much to do, you'd say standard saves, but you know what? Sometimes shots look like standard saves because the keeper's in the right position. Do you know what I mean? You're watching the player with the ball. You follow the arc of the shot. He just takes it in chest. No, standard save. But he's got there, hasn't he? He's shuffled across while you're watching player with ball about to have a strike. That's when he's doing his positioning. Great. Really confident. And do you know what? He just looks so laid back, doesn't he? Really good. Just, yeah. He's got that easy way about him. He's always smiling. I mean, most goalkeepers do. He's just like really laid back. Suits him. Suits Wednesday. Suits that back four. Really good. Rotherham Saturday. I've done half a preview for that now, but I will do another video. Anyway, 1-0. Like I said, some of you called it right. A nice start 1-0 game. Onwards and upwards. You don't want to start getting carried away, do you? You know, 5 games, 10 games, look at it at Christmas. But great start. Great start. I tell you what, you'd have took all these results before it started a month, wouldn't you? When we got 9 professional players on books. Bloody hell. So Rotherham Saturday, they had a good start, and that'll be a different sort of game. I think that'll be a more physical game, but play what's in front of you on day. That was potential banana skin, that Fleetwood, as far as I'm concerned. So to win it and a clean sheet, great result.